What's up, Jacket Nation, and welcome to another episode of Jacket Chats. I'm your host, Bryce Johnson. Today I am joined by the semi-new women's soccer coach for the Black Hills State women's soccer team, John Hutchison. How are you today, John?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for taking the time. It's been great to have you on campus and a part of the Black Hills State athletics family, and we'll get right into it. So why did you choose Black Hills State? What attracted you to this position?
I feel there was a great potential in the program here. They'd obviously never reached the heights that I truly believe that they're capable of. Fantastic area, fantastic university, a lot to offer out here, great education. It's not just all about soccer either, it's about making sure that we're developing the whole person, and I definitely feel this university covers all those bases.
And you got in here to spearfish, what was it, June, July-ish time?
I got the job April, but I would commute back and forth until we finally got moved here, which was the end of June.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what are your impressions on Black Hills State, Yellow Jacket Athletics, Spearfish as a whole so far?
Again, I think there's a great amount of potential here. Fantastic coaching staff, fantastic people here in athletics who really care about the mission and how we're trying to progress things forward here. So that was a big thing for me in accepting the job, but as well as applying for it at the same time.
Yeah, and you really did come in an interesting time, transition period with the athletic director position, but you've really embraced the Black Hills State athletics family and become a part of it, and that's really impressed me. So tell us a little bit about your coaching background prior to Black Hills State for those who don't know.
I've been all over the place. I graduated college in 2013. From there, I kind of fell into a GA position. It wasn't necessarily something I was looking to do, but it was a last chance to stay here in the US, and I definitely grabbed it with two hands. So I was at Ottawa University in Kansas for 2 years, coaching both men and women's teams, and that's kind of where I fell in love with coaching. I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to do it, and loved it there. Very successful program on the women's side. Guys' side needed a little more love, and then I moved on from there to the University of Arkansas, which was an eye-opening experience. Unbelievable amount of detail put into how they operate over there and how they do things, and I think that was a huge change in kind of how I started to do things and how I viewed coaching. And then I moved on to an NAIA college, again to be another GA, because as internationals sometimes have issues finding full-time work. So went there, coached men for 2 years, and then I was fortunate enough to get the head coaching job up at Presentation College and move up this way to South Dakota, freezing cold tundra, and really start to embrace the role that I had there. It was a fantastic opportunity for myself because it was very much the same situation that I'm dealing with right now with this program, and it's something that it's a fantastic challenge, and really excited to be here to help progress change and rewrite the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of alluded to it. You know, you've seen various different levels of collegiate soccer. You've seen it now here at the Division II level, prior to this, NAIA at Presentation, and Power 5 at Arkansas. What's the difference you've noticed so far between like the NAIA level, if you want to compare it to the D1 level, you can, and now coaching at a Division II school?
A big thing is it's not even necessarily the soccer, it's the commitment level. Kids at NAIA, it's a more social aspect. They want to be able to hang out with their friends. I don't want to say they're not going to take it as seriously, because they definitely do, but there's more of a academic and social aspect there, to where here at D2 I've felt the girls are very adamant about their improvement and to do more and to how can I get better. When we watch film, they're all doing it. It's little things like that go a very long way. Power 5, it's jacked up even more, because there's not just 20 players that want your position, there's like 150 players that all want your position, and it's, again, just the commitment level at each level is something that I've noticed.
So the off-the-field stuff. It's not the product on the field, it's the off-the-field?
Yeah, off the field is huge. Everybody on the field is just as good as each other for the most part. Again, Power 5 obviously has they're better up there, but no, everybody else is just the commitment level off the field, how much their recovery they're doing, what they're doing to take care of themselves, goes a very long way.
That's very interesting. And so you kind of alluded to it as well. Kind of what did make you want to go into coaching? Kind of, you said you fell into it.
I
almost.
did. A little backstory. I got my bachelor's degree in sports management in 2013, and when I graduated, I gave myself until August to find a job. Not understanding how things work for an international, trying to find a job and those kind of things. So I got myself to about July 28th, and I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to book the flight and everything, and never come back. And my old assistant coach was like, hey, come be my GA. My grades weren't where they needed to be. I had to run around and do an awful lot of work to get myself to where I ended up, but it was a fantastic opportunity, and I really am grateful for it. Once I got there, I started to realize that this isn't just about soccer and X's and O's. It's about the people and doing your best to help them grow and be the best version of themselves. And I think that's the part that's really captivated me and kept me going and kept me wanting to do this.
And some coaches kind of say that there was like a singular moment that like really made them fall in love with it, or in other cases, want to do it. Do you have a singular moment or kind of group of moments that made you want to stick with coaching?
I think there's a couple. I mean, again, we won conference back to back. That stuff's awesome. That stuff's fun. And it feels great for us as coaches, but it's watching players succeed. That's the big thing. And sometimes succeeding isn't always winning games. Sometimes it's earning a starting spot. Sometimes it's learning how to do a new skill. And in my last college, my captain had a really rough first semester as a freshman, and now she's doing a master's degree at another college. That's the success I really am chasing, and it's awesome to see them really progress forward over the years.
The personal growth aspect of it, for sure. And, what is your coaching philosophy? Because you've come in here, you've really tried to change the culture of the team. So kind of what changes are you trying to make, and what's your philosophy as a coach?
Big things is relationships, building relationships with people. People go a lot further for you if they know that you care about them, you want the best of them, you love them. And this past weekend we had a moment with myself and the team to where I had to be a little harsh on them. But they know that that's coming from a place of he's pushing us to our potential. He's trying to do the best that he can do and get the best out of us. And I do truly believe that they understand that. So this is other reasons my door's always open. There's a couch in here. I've got stuff on the TV so that kids can feel comfortable coming in here and sitting down, having a conversation that isn't even about soccer. Because at the end of the day, if I know how your day-to-day is going, I know how the family is, I know what your dog's name is, the further that you're going to go for not me, but the team. And that's important for the team too. I had a 10-hour bus ride yesterday, and I've got people in the back like all talking, communicating, not just on their phones. When we go to lunch, no phones are allowed to be brought with them. Everybody's sitting, having a conversation, investing in each other, and I think that's the biggest thing. And that's why we don't like to see change in the program, but I think rewriting, Lexi Crow said that, and I loved that, rewriting the program. That's what we're trying to do here.
That's a really interesting way of putting it. And I have noticed that not just on the field and with the players, you are really committed to the relationship part of things, just building relationships within the department. I always see you on campus, walking your dog on campus with your wife. That's really fun, and embracing the community as a whole. But on the field, the X's and O's kinds of stuff, what is your preferred kind of team playing style? How do you want your ladies to play soccer?
And this is there's no right way to do this in soccer. There's a lot of fantastic teams out there that are getting this done in their own way. For me, I'm going to watch a ridiculous amount of video this year, and I'd rather enjoy what I watch. And that's getting the ball on the ground, moving the ball up the field beautifully, moving it with purpose. And we've started to show glimpses of that at times. We definitely have a ton of work to do, and it's going to be a never-ending process. But the better we can be on the ball, the more control we can have in the game. By having the ball, we're going to be better overall because of it.
Absolutely, and you've kind of alluded to it. Now, moving forward, what have you been implementing or trying to implement in the future to your program to raise the standard, not just on the culture side, but on the on-field product side?
And this might seem a little counterintuitive. Everybody thinks a coach's job is to win games, right? That's not my priority. My priority is to get them to playing the way that they can enjoy, playing a way that they can get behind and believe in. And if they do that, the wins will come. And that's been the biggest thing. We haven't necessarily shied away from anyone and playing our style, and we don't plan to, because again, in every failure is a lesson. And we've definitely came away with a few lessons only becomes an actual failure if you don't start to implement those. And we've started to do that. This past weekend, again, a good weekend for us to test who we really are. Came back from a goal down twice, which I don't think we've done in the past. And then yesterday we tied a pretty good Adams State team. And we moved the ball well at times. Again, still going to be a moving on process, but it's going to be something that we're going to continue to do, and it's not going to get done on day one, so we're going to keep working at it.
And from an observer's perspective, the culture side of things for your team, I've really noticed a big difference, but there's also a big difference on the on-the-field product because you have had some mixed results so far this year, but the team is off to the best start in program history, already matching the program high for wins in a season. What have you seen from this group so far?
It's just an ability to fight. And again, we've had our moments where our heads have been down and we've had to learn and fight through those moments. But great things don't come with easy challenges. Like, we got to go through some of it. We got to go through these challenges. We got to play your mesas. We got to play your minds and learn the lessons out of those to come out successful. And again, I say successful isn't winning and losing. Successful is playing our way, getting the best out of ourselves, having fun doing it and competing. And we've really started to be able to do that. And again, this is going to be a couple year process. We're not going to get this figured out in a year, despite being tied for wins and things like that. But again, that's not the success we're chasing. The success we're chasing is making sure that when people watch us play, they want to come back and do it again, because we're making them feel an emotion. They're seeing the passion that we play with, and they get really excited to come back.
Yeah, I know personally I really do feel excited to kind of see your guys' games and see where this program is going, because, like I said, from an observer's perspective, I believe in the direction of this program, and there's really some significant progress that I've been noticing being made, and a couple of showcases of that. This past weekend, went down to Las Vegas, went down to Alamosa, coming away with draws against New Mexico Highlands and Adams State, both teams that the program lost to last season. What are your takeaways from this weekend about your squad?
Big things about this, and again, we can moan about scheduling all day, right? 2 weeks ago, we were at Mines, went down to Golden, then drove to Grand Junction, got home for 3 days, and then we're back off to go to Las Vegas, New Mexico, and then go play Alamosa and come back. Again, there's adversity in that. Getting off the bus and going to go play is a difficult thing to do, despite if you should be beating teams or not. And I think we went about it the best we could. So coming out of those 2 games, again, being more successful than we were last year, gaining a point in each, still puts us in a good place to be able to get ourselves where we want to be this year. But no, and overall, Friday, New Mexico Highlands really came at us, and that scared us a little bit. And we built through, and again, to come through and come back from a goal down twice is something that you've got to take positives from. And yesterday, second half, they definitely started to put it on us a little bit, but they fought, battled. They made the decision to dig down and double down for each other. And again, those are things that are a product of our culture, not necessarily of anything I'm doing. I've always said once the game starts, I'm obsolete, I'm kind of useless. It's all on them from there, and they've been stepping up and doing the absolute best that they can do, and at the end of the day, I can't ask any more of them.
Yeah, it's really been impressive to see. A moment from Saturday that stood out to me was at the end of the first half, you had a set play out of a corner, absolute beautiful ball, header into the back of the net, tied the score at the time. That was something that we didn't really see last year. That was definitely, that's a coaching thing. Those set plays, that's a coaching thing. So that was really impressive to see. Now you go into this weekend. You're finally back on your home field here in Spearfish. So what are your expectations heading into this weekend against first UCCS?
Again, we're going to attack these teams. We've nothing to lose going into this, right? We're going to attack these teams, go at these teams, try and make life as difficult as we possibly can for them. And Colorado Springs are good. Great team to watch, doing it the right way that I believe soccer should be played. So you got to give them the respect for playing things that way. But that doesn't mean that when we get on the field that we're going to be happy to just allow them to play. Pueblo, definitely a game that we're looking to come in and try and be successful and implement our way of playing and really get at them too. And then going into next week, we have 4 straight at home, right? We got to maximise what we can do in these games and try and pull the most that we can to keep those playoff hopes alive.
you're really trying to take advantage of these opportunities, sleeping in your own bed.
Definitely.
You know, getting a little extra rest before these games. We'll roll into some rapid-fire questions here, and we'll start with this. If you could play any other sport collegiately when you were an undergrad, besides soccer, what would it have been?
This is difficult being an international, right? But I would have said basketball.
He's a hooper,
I don't know how
guys.
good I would be, but I would say basketball.
Fair enough. What's your go-to match day breakfast?
I mean, when we're in the hotel, I normally go for biscuits and gravy.
Fair enough. Very popular out here. What's your favorite fall pastime besides soccer?
Probably playing golf.
He's a golfer as well. All-around athlete, everybody. John Hutchison, all-around athlete. What's your favorite place to go and eat here in Spearfish so far?
Base Camp Kitchen, the Indian and Nepal place.
I haven't checked that one out yet.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
very
right down
good.
there by Killian's. It looks
Yep.
like a very interesting spot.
It is.
I got to give it a shot. And last but not least, what is one thing that most people do not know about you?
This is an interesting one. I'm actually a black belt in Taekwondo. I got that when I was 12, so I don't know if technically I still have it, but I have a black belt with my name on it from Taekwondo.
Like I said, all-around athlete in all kinds of sports. John Hutchison. Hey, good luck this weekend. Look forward to seeing what you guys do out on the field, and thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Bryce. Really appreciate what you're doing here, man. Thank you.
Until next time, I'm your host, Bryce Johnson, for Jacket Chats.